Africa has been identified as one of the key regions from a rapid growth market perspective. And certainly for us in Africa, we see a massive opportunity for international investors and for South African investors, as well as investors from other parts of Africa, to grow their investments, their businesses, their operations across the continent. Just to put that growth in perspective, just to kind of frame it, the size of the African economy has more than trebled over the last decade. So in 10 years, we've seen an African economy that has grown over 3 times. The size of the sub-Saharan African economy in that context has almost quadrupled. So we've seen in a period in which half of that time, 5 years, has been in a context of global economic crisis, an African economy that from what many people would say is a low base, fair enough, but has grown year on year on year and is now sitting at a size that's more than 3 times what it was in 2002, in fact. Within there's a number of diverse African economies that have been growing consistently for a decade plus at rates that are either high single digit or into double digit rates. So, a lot of people would have heard the quotes that through the decade up to 2010, 6 of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world were in Africa. Looking forward now from 2012 through 2017, 11 of the 20 fastest growing economies in the world are in Africa. And many of those are the same economies that have been growing at sustained high growth rates for now 10, 15 plus years. So we ourselves are very confident. The trends we've seen in terms of foreign direct investment into the continent have been very positive in a context in which generally FDI flows have been shrinking globally. We've seen over the last 5 years FDI projects into sub-Saharan Africa growing at a rate of 22.4%. And just generally, anecdotally, the levels of engagement that we've had from our South African clients and our international clients in terms of their levels of interest in Africa and the work that we're doing with them to help define their growth strategies in Africa has grown exponentially over the last few years. As we think about South Africa's positioning in the context of that African growth story, we do feel it's very important that we globalize our perspective, number one, and we understand that as much as countries compete for FDI and for share of investment, so do regions. And at this point in time, despite the positive trends so far in terms of growth and in terms of investment growth, Africa is still fairly marginal when it comes to total flows of FDI. So just to put things in perspective, although FDI projects have grown at a rate of 22.4% into Africa over the last 5 years, Africa still attracts fewer or less than 6% of global FDI projects. So it attracts fewer FDI projects. The entire continent of Africa, so including North Africa, attracts fewer FDI projects than India and far fewer than China. So as an entire continent, we attract fewer FDI projects than a country like India. And that kind of puts things in perspective. And the discourse which tries to create some sense of competition between South Africa, for example, and Nigeria, or South Africa and Kenya, or South Africa and other parts of Africa, in our view, is more damaging in that respect, because we need to be positioning ourselves in the context of Africa first and foremost, looking to increase the total size of the pie for Africa as a whole. So from our perspective, the more FDI that Nigeria is attracting, the more we can sell the Nigerian story, the more we can sell the East African story, the better it is for us as not only as South Africans, but as Africans as a whole. Because the bigger that pie is, the better it is for us. South Africa remains, by far, in terms of our investor perception surveys, the most attractive destination in Africa and the most attractive platform for investment into other parts of Africa. So it's a win-win situation when if Nigeria is growing, then so is South Africa. If Kenya is benefiting, then so is South Africa. And we need to start having a different kind of frame of reference when we're talking about South Africa's position in the context of the rest of Africa. I don't think we're contradicting the perception or the view that South Africa shouldn't lose its status as a gateway to the rest of Africa. What we're saying, though, is that there are many points of potential entry into Africa. Africa is a massive continent, and certainly no organization that is going to put feet on the ground in Nigeria or West Africa and East Africa can run their operations from South Africa. That's a reality. This continent that's like saying that, if you're going to invest in Russia, you must run your operations from London. It's just that. But what South Africa offers, it offers a platform for investment. It offers a robust, world-class financial system. It offers a soft landing point, and it certainly offers a base from which to grow one's investment and operations across other parts of Africa. The more attractive, as I've said, the more attractive other parts of Africa are becoming, the more feet on the ground we have in other parts of Africa, the better it's going to be for us as well.